Alright, so I know I haven't posted in a while, and this is probably going to be the first video that you guys actually hear my voice, but I probably haven't said it, but I do enjoy playing Elden Ring, and I have the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC as well. So, because I haven't seen a build for this yet, and I really enjoy watching this anime, I decided to create a Benimaru Shinmon cosplay build. Let's see if I can find where they... Yeah, it doesn't really say what my name is, but I'll go into it a lot. Renala over here in a bit to show you. Anyway, so I had quite the trouble kind of trying to find anything that remotely kind of looked similar to what he did in his move set and whatnot. But for his weapon, I chose the Spear of the Impaler, and I have it at +10 because it's one of my favorite weapons. But the Spear of the Impaler, which you get from Mesmer the Impaler, a DLC boss, which you can find in the Shadow Keep. You go up through the Shadow Keep, and his boss arena is over here, the Dark Chamber entrance, and you'll be able to fight him from there. Now, it inflicts fire damage on impact. It's a single-handed light attack combo. Is a 3-combo chain. I'm not sure if it changes with 2-handed. No, it doesn't. I guess it'll just do more damage. If you press R2, your R2 right trigger on Xbox, and I'm not sure what it is on PC, I think it's right click, it will launch the spear. However, if you charge up your heavy attack and throw it, it does fire AoE on impact that does continuous fire damage. Again, not sure if it changes. I guess it kind of seems to have a little longer of a wind-up. No, it's the same. Anyway, your rolling light attack looks something like that. Does it have a chain? No, it doesn't. Your rolling heavy attack, it just stays the same. However, the Ash of War, Mesmer's Assault on it, looks decently similar to Benimaru's fighting style. Apart from the spears coming out of the earth, but it does just look cool, and it's a really powerful one too. Now, our secondary weapon is the Dryleaf Arts, and I have the Dryleaf Whirlwind on it with Blood Affinity, so that you get that kind of bleed buildup. And make sure you always two-hand this, because the attacks do change. So that was your whole light attack single-handed combo, but then it changes into this. Really powerful stuff. Single-handed, not charged, heavy attack combo. Very small, but then when you do double-handed, it adds an extra kick in there, and that can be really powerful. It can mean the difference between getting the bleed and not. And as you know, in a boss fight, the more times the boss gets bled, the more resistance it gets to hemorrhage. And then the Dryleaf Whirlwind looks really cool, and he kind of uses like Tai Chi, so this is the closest we got to it. I used the Golden Order seal, the spells we have, so I tried to get as close as possible to his pyrokinesis abilities, and one of the things that he does in the anime is he'll go flying around on his spear. So I use Mesmer's Orb for that because it kind of does something similar. It does have a charge variant. That was the charge variant. The single tap, really quick, it won't go as far. Let me see if I can get it to go really far. That's about as far as it will go. And it can wrap around targets. Now, again, I'm trying to get as close as you can in Elden Ring to getting close to his pyrokinesis abilities, so they may not be exact representations. Oh, and Mesmer's Orb also comes from Mesmer the Impaler's Remembrance. I showed you him on the map. Then we have the Blood Boon. It'll like spread fire damage and whatnot. And you get that from Moog. Moog. Up on Mogun Dynasty. Then there's also the Blood Flame Talons. Really quick spell, I really like it. You get that one, I just got it actually from Cathedral of the Forsaken, which is the other Moog. Then there is Giant's Flame, Take Thee, has a charge variant, that's the tap, and here's the charge. It's always worth it to charge it if you can. Flame Fall Upon Them, let me look up really high for this one. Spread fire damage, also has a charge variant. And then one of his Benimaru's signature moves was how he would, he waved his hand around him in a circle, so the closest I could get to that was this. That was the charge variant, the tap just as this. It's not as powerful, but that's what it looks like. Then we have, for like his Tai Chi plus pyrokinesis, we have the Furious Blade of Ansbach, which also has a charged ability, which slightly changes the trajectory of the hits. Here's the tap. I think it also adds an extra hit. Yeah, it'll add an extra hit as well. And then for our buffs, we have Flame Grant Me Strength for like how he like gets all fiery. And we have the Boiled Crab. I have plenty of it, so I don't mind using it. Let me see if we can get that fire back. Yeah, there you go. And then we also have our Wondrous Physique. Now, for talismans, I would put on, I just got these two from whatnot. For talismans, always Dragon Crest Straight Shield. That's always a good bet. We really like Shard of Alexander. Now, if you're doing his quest, make sure you go to Farum Azula to kill him when you inevitably do, because if you kill him when you first meet him, the Shard of Alexander only gives you a 10% bonus to your powers, to the power of your skills. However, Farum Azula Alexander gives you 15%. Next, we're going to put on the Rotten Winged Sword insignia for extra attack damage, because that will chain with your skill, and especially with the Dryleaf Arts and Mesmer's Assault, that skill, really powerful. Now, for this one, you really could go with anything. If you wanted, you could use the Flame Scorpion charm, but I don't have that one, So what I also recommend is Phlox Canvas, because that will raise the potency of all your incantations so they all do increased damage. Now, for our wondrous physique, let me go over here. Oh, while I have it in my mind, the armor that I thought got closest to his robes was the Altered Ronin's armor and the Preceptor's trousers. I couldn't really find a decent pair of pants that like really fit him that was either blue. So if you have one in mind, link it down in the comments. I mean, the War Surgeon doesn't really look right, so I just went with some black pants that I had in mind. For our Wondrous Physique, we have the Opaline Hard tier to boost our resistance so we can tank more hits. And then we have the Flame Shrouding Cracked tier so that we can have greater attack power with our fire spells and fire in general. Now, it was hard picking out all of these spells and incantations, but if you wanted to, you could take out the Blood Flame Talons and replace it with, I don't know, I'd go O-Flame. I don't really recommend Catch Flame, it doesn't last long enough, but O-Flame has a charged variant. Or, another one that you could put in is Fire's Deadly Sin, so you have that constant burning effect that will rub off on enemies. I wouldn't really recommend any Flame of the Felgod or Surge of Flame. That one's decent, but it doesn't really look like what he does. Again, really, you could put on anything that really floats your boat and makes you feel like Benimaru. I don't have it, but you could also put on, as a secondary buff, Flame Protect Me, I believe it is called. Also, let me give you a showcase of the O-Flame and the Fire's Deadly Sin. Now, O-Flame, we have a tap, and then we have a charged. And then Fire's Deadly Sin, I'm not sure if there is a charge to it. So the tap. Now, the only thing that's really not to like about this is that if you notice up here in the top corner, my health is slowly going down. But once you touch an enemy, they start burning with you. And if you're using the Boiled Crab, that damage is practically nothing. And then you put on all of this together, and then you use the spell. And let's see if it has, yeah, it does have a charged. You're literally taking 1 hit point of damage. There's no way this could kill you. I mean, it's a possibility, but it's highly unlikely. And then you really don't have to use what I use for this whole build, really. I just use it because it looks the part, really. But, and you don't have to use my character creation. I did start with Astrologer, but that was quite some time ago, and I have done so much with this character, it's ridiculous. Now, don't mind the eyes, because I recently went and got hugged by the Three Fingers, But as you can see, Benimaru Shinmon. I did go with young. And actually, we'll change that. Now, I think young looks the best. Now, don't really trust my character creation because I used another cosplay that I did earlier, and the only thing I really changed was his mouth and his eyes. So it's going to kind of look like a different character. I did my best to change it, but I'm not really good at character creation. I'm just happy that he's looks like this. If we go to the face, our bone structure is 6 because I thought that kind of looked good. Again, don't trust my numbers entirely. I just tried to make him look somewhat close to it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm sure there's probably a character creation out there, I just couldn't find one. Again, don't mind the eyes, because I just recently got hugged by the 3 fingers and I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. And I don't know why, but he kind of looks flat in the face, but I don't really care. We did go with hair 6 because they didn't really have a hair that really fit him properly, and you know, it doesn't really look right, and I'm not quite happy. But brow 10 does look pretty good, pretty similar too. No facial hair, so it don't really matter. The eyelashes, I didn't really do much. I didn't really care. It doesn't look like he has eyelashes anyway. This is where it changes. Oh, that's how I got rid of it. So his eyes are at least vaguely close to the color they are in the anime. And the shadows make them look darker than they are. But if I turn this on, it'll give me frenzied flame eyes. I'm just gonna leave it off. We want his skin to look smooth, so that's what they look like. Cosmetics, meh. He kind of looks angry, but it doesn't really. And I do believe it is in my favorites, yeah, right here. So, before, see, the only real difference between these two, so this one and this one, is the hair, it's all in the face, really. So this one, I actually did use a video to get. This was my Kirito cosplay build, and it didn't really much matter to me. Well, it does. I do like doing cosplay builds. Like, this is my Sephiroth, which was my first one. I did a Melania, a Lady Maria from Bloodborne. This is Wolf from Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. This was, what's his name? Virgil from Devil May Cry 5. This was my Sung Jin Woo from Solo Leveling. Here's Kirito, and then Benimaru Shinmon. Now, I do admit, if you want a spear that looks closer to the one he uses in the anime, You could equip, let me find it, the Partisan. I have the Fire Affinity equipped to it though. Because it does have the tassel, but nothing really comes close to their like holy spears that they have. However, it's Ash of War. Again, this is what I could do. I don't really like the Partisan for it though. I'll stick with my Spear of the Impaler. Because that just looks amazing. Especially when he like, after the spears come out of the earth, his spear disappears and then he just like summons a new one out of the flame. It's just amazing. I must admit, Mesmer as a boss himself, when the DLC was first out, he was absolutely cracked, and it probably, I think my count was 128 deaths to him. But that's when the DLC first came out, like no patches to him whatsoever. And like it was absolutely insane to fight that. And I have the one line he says when he kills you, and all shall perish in the embrace of Mesmer's flame. I swear to God, I hate that line sometimes. But let me go teleport. We'll do Albanark's Rise to really show you. So we have, I wasn't sure what I wanted to show you here really. I guess I could just show you the damages at like +10. So charged heavy, that's practically death to them. I don't know why that deals more damage, but if it doesn't instantly kill this one, you see how he started burning. And then this, you can literally leap out of the way sometimes. That's an insta-kill to almost anything small. I hate these guys really when I have to actually fight them. When you charge it up really, it does ridiculous damage. Blood Boon is really good. That didn't really hit anything. It's more of like a lasting impact. This guy wants to play. Come on now. That was decent. And it doesn't really cost a lot of FP. This one is really the bread and butter of the build. Insta-kill. This one's really good for spread damage. I just woke up a whole bunch. That's wonderful. Now, I must admit, with Mesmer's Assault, on his, so when he goes up in the air for the first time, and he'll like swing twice. So 1, 2, you saw the second time he swings in front of him, it will actually stagger the enemy to prevent an attack from them. And it's actually pretty cool when you get it right. Whirl of Flame, it's more niche than anything, but it kind of does work. That was actually pretty good. I couldn't tell you how good is on a boss because I can't really think of one right now. Let me see if I can get it to see how it staggered him there. Well, not staggered, well, not stance broken or anything, but it still did prevent him from attacking me. See how it canceled his attack? That's what I was talking about. Then the Furious Blade of Onsbach. This is by far one of my DLC favorite spells. And then that, I think the whole build's really self-explainable after that. Oh, I did want to show you this though. This is wicked powerful. Like, I cannot, like, explain. It kills them too fast to even properly show you. Insane amounts of stagger damage. Like, if you really wanted to max this out. Also, like the red glowy around me, I'm not quite sure why that appears because I do not have the Lord of Blood's Exaltation equipped, so I'm not quite sure why. Now, really, you do not have to be the ridiculous level that I am. That's just crazy. I did that because I feel more comfortable at the higher levels. You see, I have literally 50 or higher in each stat. That is, like, beyond reasonable for the casual player. And, like, I can show you how many hours I have in Elden Ring. It's, like, crazy. 260 at level 346, yeah. So, and this is New Game Plus 1. So, my damage may be less or more compared to what level you are and what state of world yours is in. Now, both of these are plus 10. This is plus 24, though. I'm not entirely happy with that, but I'm not going to do that because I don't like wasting those on just anything. Again, if you don't get hit a lot, you could probably switch this out for... I do find some occasions where I run out of stamina because when you throw this spear, it like... Well, when it actually hits something, I think. Wake up, dude. But like when you actually throw it when you're in combat, it uses up a ridiculous amount of health, or I mean stamina. So like you could probably put on the two-headed turtle talisman instead. I don't really see use in this one unless you're like earlier game, because like I already have like a ridiculous amount. Of health and whatnot. I did just get this, meh. Now, this could be useful if you find yourself using the dry leaf arts a lot. This is really more niche for when you don't have, like, I love all the incantations and spells and sorceries in this game, so my FP bar is, like, absolutely ridiculously high, but that's just the way I play, and since I'm getting into D&D with my dad soon, I'm running a wizard, and I will probably end up making a necromancer out of it, but I do not want this video to drag on forever. I don't think there is a boss off the top of my head that I can think of to fight, because I've probably fought almost all of them, because that's just who I am. But, this really wasn't on for any reason whatsoever. I had just fought Moog and I like using it. This, however, is actually pretty cool and useful. If you know the I forget what the Black Flame spell is called, but it like does the same thing except with Black Flame. It's exactly the same thing except with a reskin. If you like using summons, Black Knife Tiche is good. This one can be decent. Mimic is always good. However, one of my favorites is Yolan and Anna. Other than that, really just rock with whatever you're comfortable with. And that's really all I could tell you. So we just reached 30 minutes on the video. Subscribe if you made it this far. Drop a comment. I might be able to set up a time where we can play Elden Ring together if you want, and summon you and whatnot, or you could summon me, and we could all have a blast. So, if you made it this far, you are one of the lucky ones, and I congratulate you, and I thank you. Please drop a like, subscribe if you want, and if you so choose and play Elden Ring, it doesn't have to be Shadow of the Erd Tree per se, but if you play Elden Ring and you're just looking for some help, drop a comment below and I'll see if I can get something planned. Anyway, ciao.